person that I am going to read on is Kim Kardashian. There's lots of rumors about the Kardashian family. Hello, Monzi Marionette. So there are lots of questions about the magic that, or whether or not they've done magic that the Kardashians have done, because we've seen a lot that's happened to the men that they have dated. So I'm going to throw some bones to see what's been going on with the Kardashians. So the question that I'm going to ask about Kim Kardashian's witch pussy is, what spell does her pussy have on Kanye? What spell does her pussy have on Kanye? So let's wake these bones up and see what they have to say. Well, put a spell on him. If she does, what spell does she have on him? What is she? What were her intentions if she did this? What does Kim Kardashian have? Okay. So, from what I see, it looks like, what she's done, she has been a disaster for him. Because I've got my Kyrie shells coming in 3 down, 1 up. So as soon as he started having these intimate relationships with Kim Kardashian, it was downhill from there. So what I do see is that, the battery over the hazard is like, this group of women are, toxic for these men. So witch pussy doesn't always have to be toxic, but it can be, depending upon your intentions. So it looks like she has been toxic for him. And, and, like I said from the beginning, it has just been a downhill spiral for him. So everything looked great, everything looked sweet in the beginning. So it's not that it's necessarily all of his disease. Some of it is the fact that he's encountered a relationship with someone who, like I said, is quite, is not good for him to be in a relationship with. So, her ancestors, protect her. So when she's encountering these men and she's having intimate relations with them, and they're having this energetic exchange that happens during sex, Kim's actually protected. Kanye West does need to work with his ancestors, so he does have some protection, because from what I'm seeing, he's not necessarily protected. And so that's what's been the problem. Because she does have protection. She has ancestral protection. She has protection from her spiritual cord. And, that is, that is a gift for her, is to be able to have these sorts of intimacy with someone, and the exchange benefiting her, and being to the other man's detriment. So, two of these men, Kanye and, Kanye has, Kanye has linked up with Ray J. And so this, my bone placements are saying that, the two of them have linked up because a lot of people are talking about, you know, what has happened to these men after they have had these sorts of intimate relationships with Kardashian women. And what they're starting to find is that there's some things that they had in common. So you did see them show up at an event together. But the main thing is, people, these two men are starting to connect the dots. And the reason that they're able to do that, again, is because uh, they're starting to listen to some of the things that are said, from the masses, from their fans, people that are saying, this is not normal, this is not okay, what has happened to you after you have left this relationship. And what we're seeing with these men who encounter them is that, they're not doing very well, um, towards the end of the relationship. But this is just kind of like a slow walk down. Um, so I do see some of you guys like really talking about the Badu incense, and we are definitely going to get to her. But let's jump back into this reading. So this magic that she's done, Kim Kardashian, was for marriage. She was working to, not expend a lot of effort to have these men commit. And she wanted to make it easy, for her to have this sort of, you know, partnership, this secure partnership, this marriage contract. Like this is what her end goal was. And so she really had the intentions of locking these men down. And of course, Kanye was out of all of the men, he was like quite successful in terms of someone that had a large media following. And so this was really important to her. The kids, of course, was important to sealing their fate, sealing them in terms of them having, a commitment. So the children that were a product of that relationship was also a means to an end, is in terms of keeping that particular commitment. I'm not saying that she does not love her children, but listen, she wanted to make sure that this last marriage was successful. She had been married two other times, one when she was really young, right? Then she married Chris, and then she married Kanye. So for her it was like, let's go ahead and do this sort of magic to get this men to commit, because she was tired of the marriages, entering these marriages and not having them work out. What happened though is that there was lots of confusion, and she didn't get everything out of the relationship that she wanted to get. And the reason why there is, lots of confusion is because of Kanye's mental state. This was quite difficult. It's difficult to do this type of magic on people where they have these types of illnesses that Kanye has. So the reason why Kim wasn't necessarily able to nail this down with magic and control him the way that she wanted to was because Kanye is mentally ill. So you start to see that sort of confusion. Also, her spiritual team was confused as well, because um this person, he has, like I said, this sort of disease that makes it so it's hard to control someone like that. So um there were times where she was glad that she had done it, happy that she was in the marriage, happy she was in a relationship. And there were times where she wasn't happy and she did want to get out. And so that also led to the confusion. But dealing with his ups and downs and his, mania, and then the times where he's depressed, took her through this roller coaster. Um, like I said, I have Cecile coming in, and she's talking about how they wanted to have him in the family, and manage him as well, because his music was quite lucrative. This was something that was great for them in order to have someone who's a successful artist like this that her mother can manage, and then building or mixing their brands together. So if I have to have a vote as to who has the best which pussy at this point, I'm gonna have to tell you that the jury is out because I need to read the other candidates. But let's just you know, jump back into this, because I really want you guys to understand that whenever you do this sort of magic, like I said, when the target is mentally unstable, you're going to struggle to have some sort of mind control with this particular target. So, looking at this, like I said, the jury is out as to who has the best witch pussy. It looks like hers is kind of toxic. So we're going to throw some cards, because I want to see what was screwing them up. Like I said, I do have some idea that, Kim, when he's going through his mania, when Kanye's going through his depressant stage, she's kind of like, man, why did I marry this person? Then she leaves Kanye and she goes to Pete Davidson. But Pete has the same problems that Kanye has. He has the same diseases. He has some of the very similar pathologies, right? So, when you look at it like that, it seems like she kind of attracts the same type of target. She's attracted to the same type of target. Someone who's bipolar, someone who deals with, you know, uh, using these sort of illegal substances, someone who, because their mind is so double, they're all over the place. And so, what the cards that I pulled is the Ace of Clubs reversed, the Six of Hearts reversed, and then the Jack of Diamonds. And so, this Ace of Clubs reversed for me is a card of spiritual investigation. So this shows me that she really didn't know what she was doing, and she didn't do her homework, and that's why she was confused. Oftentimes people will come to a priest or a magician and ask for these types of spells, and they don't understand that, based on what was going on with Kanye, that they're not going to have the same type of success rate as they would have if somebody wasn't mentally ill like he is. Then I have the Six of Hearts reversed. Oftentimes people don't do their homework and recognize that these relationships are karmic relationships, right? So these aren't the relationships that you're meant to be in for a lifetime. Sometimes these are relationships that you're supposed to have because there are some lessons that you need to learn. However, she took what was a karmic relationship and made it a permanent relationship, and that also would have been revealed had she done her spiritual investigation, or had the spiritualist that she went to uh, done their homework on this particular situation. So, and then the Jack of Diamonds, this particular spiritualist that she went to is a salesman. The Jack of Diamonds for me, this is the card of the salesman. This is the person who knows how to sell by making people around them feel valuable. And so this is, like I said, the reason that this turned out this way is because she went to a spiritualist. She basically didn't do her homework. She didn't understand what it's like to do this type of spell work on someone who is mentally ill, and she didn't understand the difference between a lifetime commitment and a karmic relationship, which would have been divulged to her had she done her homework and had she gone for a divination. So that is important when you start talking about spell work. You really have to come and get mentorship. You really have to come and get mentorship, because you need to see um how this particular spell work is done. You also need to see how these spells are designed. You need to understand that you need to divine before, during, and after, and you need to understand how to troubleshoot your spell work. And also, you know, oftentimes when you really understand the target, then you start to understand what your outcome is probably going to be and what kind of success you're going to have. And again, for Kim Kardashian, she really has this confusion here because, like I said, she doesn't do her homework. Um, some people, they do love work on a particular man, and they don't understand um who that man is. So they picked him because they wanted to, versus picking him because this person is tied to their mission, their vision, their purpose, and their destiny. And so this wasn't one of those relationships that was supposed to be long term. And also it shows, when I have this a bone over the heart, so it just shows me that, also this was there were some love triangles there. There was some cheating there. And so, like I said, this confuses the spirits that are assisting Kim, because there are times where she wavers um, in her, intention to be in this particular relationship for the long haul, and that's what becomes the problem. We don't know. Um, she doesn't know, and she doesn't understand that once you set this intention, then you kind of, you need to either stick with it, or you need to set a new intention. But this is kind of someone who, while they're in this relationship, she starts to waver. And so that is what was problematic for her. So I'm going to go from, Bones, from this question, to talk about Kim Kardashian's sexual powers. So, what do her ancestors say about her sexual powers? Okay. What are her ancestors? Does she even have any? Okay. Does she even have any sexual powers for us to talk about? We have to figure that out. I don't know. It's like you get this kind of witch pussy energy going on, and then you put it on the wrong person. This is what this looks like. It looks like she got this. She put this witch pussy on the wrong man. She put this witch pussy on somebody who is mentally ill, and then she started to struggle because of that. So let's look at what do the ancestors say her sexual powers are. So what are her sexual powers? Does she even have any? What are her sexual powers? Does she even have any? Okay, so what jumps out at me right now is you know, her sexual power is that she's supposed to be able to heal her partners through sex. She's supposed to be able to do that. She's supposed to be able to you know, bring children into this world. That's a power for her too. She's fertile, and like I said, she's supposed to be able to heal men that she is intimate with. But what we see also that stands out is that um for her, she has these clear she just has to have these clear intentions, because what happens is when she starts to waver, spirit hears that too. Okay. And so that becomes you know, a interference in the type of magic that she's trying to do. Her other sexual power is that especially once she hits 40, is that she's able to, like I said, exchange this sort of spiritual energy. But right now, it's kind of not necessarily an exchange, it's kind of a take. Um, and so she's not using her spiritual powers, um, you know, to their highest and greatest good. What she's doing is you know, having this one-sided way that she uh does, you know, takes siphons this energy. It's almost vampiric versus what her powers actually are. So she's not using her powers to really benefit her. um like I said, the ancestors are able to return from her because she's fertile as well. And another thing that I see is that you know, another one of her sexual powers is that she's a great communicator, which is something that surprised me to see. But she's someone, you know, they always say sex happens first up here between your ears. And so this is also one of her powers, is that she's able to use messages, languages, and communication as a means to seduce, and as a mean to you know, implant, you know, her intention. So she also has that power as well. And also her ancestors, um she's able to get people to open up to her and to open their hearts, which is something else that I was surprised to see. So she has these gifts or these sexual powers that would be make her a great partner for someone. Like I said, had she used them for her highest and greatest good. But again, we understand that based on the results, she's not very intentional on her targets. She's not picking the best men that she can pick. She is picking relationships that are karmic, and she's also working people who have mental illness, which that is very hard to do. And she's not doing her divination and her homework, and so that's why she's having the problems that she's having. So
Fuel my fire, take me high.